So we have a solution to our heat problem, and it's a pretty big solution. So this is a job site heater, and I don't really know why I never thought about it before, but essentially a job site is no different than a greenhouse, only that one is, they're constructing something, and this one we're growing plants in it. And it is such a great idea. A lot of people recommended it because we actually posted online with our dilemma. And our dilemma has been that they make heaters, they make these kind of box unit heaters for greenhouses. The problem is either they run on propane or natural gas. And the issue with both of those is that where we're at, we're not able to have a propane tank because of the proximity to all the other houses in the area, something we didn't consider. Also, tying into natural gas would cost us roughly almost $15,000. $14,200 was the exact quote we got to go underneath the driveway because we are all the way, the furthest point away from where the natural gas hookup is. Over here, way over here, all the way over here. And so because of that, very expensive. $14,200 was a little bit out of the budget. And this only cost us $170. So comparing the two, pretty amazing. Also, I know a lot of people suggested, well, what about using like a stove or like a wood heater, a wood burner? Also not allowed because of the proximity to our building and the fact that I did ask the city. They were not fans of the idea of having like a chimney or like a smokestack that was going to be blowing smoke because we're considered commercial, and there's certain things that commercial buildings can't have. One of those being a fireplace, essentially, and a chimney. So because of all those reasons and the way that we were zoned, all those things were out of the question. Obviously, if it was residential and it was at our house and we were out in the country, all things considered, we probably would have different solutions. But this is what we're working with, and I think this is a really great option. The question that always comes up is, how do you heat your greenhouse? And for the longest time, we haven't heated it. We basically allowed the sun to heat it for us, and then we rely on a few other things that we'll talk about to essentially retain that energy that the sun gives off throughout the day to keep the greenhouse warm. We've never heated it with kind of a heating element before. So this is kind of a first for us, and I think this can be a good solution. So this is a max heat 125,000 BTU heater, which is going to pump out the heat. That is awesome because it's really going to heat up quite fast. But the thing I love about it is it actually has a temperature control knob. This is having a thermostat, a built-in thermostat on one of these units is incredibly handy because essentially what it allows us to do is set it and forget it. I can set it to about, give it, 35, 37 degrees or so. And I know that we're not going to have a frost. And I can basically just leave it there, flip it on, and because we hook it up to power, essentially the power will use the igniter, and throughout the night it will turn off and on, basically regulating the temperature in the greenhouse to that set temperature. If I wanted it at 55, I just set it to 55. And it actually has a built-in, I don't know if you can hear that click. What that tells us is that it basically thinks that it is roughly about 37 degrees in here, which is slightly inaccurate. I think it's probably closer to 32 in all honesty. And because of that, I'm probably going to have it set to like 47 to have that margin of error, because I think there is about a 7-degree margin of error on this thermostat. Now I want to clarify, when I say that we're not allowed to have propane tanks, we're allowed to have a propane tank, but I'm talking about the cow propane tanks, the ones that people decorate like cows outside of their homes. Those we cannot have. So because of that, we're limited to just a 25-pound propane tank, pretty standard grill propane tank. And that's nice because, obviously it's a little more expensive to refill. The cost of this to refill is roughly about $18 to $21, depending on the price of propane. Lately, it's been pretty cheap. It cost us, I think, $19.20 to fill it up the last time. And on a single tank from full, this, depending on how often it runs as well, full blast, it can only run about 4.5 hours, which is still a lot of run time at full blast. But if we want to have it just turning off and on at roughly about 37 to 39 degrees at the kind of the point that we feel comfortable running this at, this should run for 10 to 12 hours easily without, and maybe even longer, without running out of the propane. So it's going to give us a good amount of runtime And we won't need it during the day when the sun is out. Obviously, it's been snowing, so there's a lot of snow cover. Sun's not really penetrating the greenhouse like it would normally. But on a normal sunny day, we don't need to run this during the day. It's 55, 60 degrees in here, no problem at all. This would only run during the night, basically. So it just gives us that nighttime security when we're gone, not at the shop, not able to take care of the plants. And then also we can always drape some frost cover over our plants in the event that we get really worried. But this, I think this is a great solution. So first step is you gotta start with propane. I thought I had enough propane for this test. Turns out I didn't. So I'm gonna go fill it up. That way I can get you guys an accurate price on the propane, but also that way I can test this out. I also wanted to cover really quick, before we even get this thing fired up, I know you all are gonna be asking, and I'm gonna hear it in the comments box, oh, carbon monoxide, ah! It's very overblown. The thing is, in this greenhouse, we have so much ventilation. I mean, we have vents up there, we have vents down there. There's so many air gaps where air is going to be coming in for adequate combustion. But not only that, we are not burning this all the time with us in here. This is going to be running during times when we are not here. Anytime we're here is during the day. At that point, it'll be turned off. And so any concern that you have about using this, I mean, this is used on job sites. It's used in homes, it's used in garages, it's used in plenty of places that are closed off or somewhat closed off. Now, obviously, read all the instructions. It says prevent serious injury or death. You may want to read all those things so you don't injure yourself or die. That being said, my concerns over carbon monoxide are very low. And for added security, I actually fully intend on installing a carbon monoxide detector in here so that in the event that anything were to happen, that we would know. Very low concerns. It's very important that you take carbon monoxide seriously. I don't want to sound like I'm joking. Thousands of people die every single year from carbon monoxide. It's very serious. But in this case, in a greenhouse that's mostly open and exposed to proper airflow and ventilation, we have enough air exchange, I think, to not be that serious of a concern. But we're going to take some extra measures just to be extra safe, and hopefully so you guys are not worried about me either. So let's redo this now. Now we've got a full propane tank. It should work just fine. And to give you a cost, because I haven't filled this up in a hot second, it's $21.40. So not terrible in a pinch. And again, are we going to use this all the time? No, but this also is going to be a commercial greenhouse. We're going to have roughly 15,000 seedlings in here in about 2 months. So this right here is going to be a very inexpensive yet important asset to the greenhouse. So now that we got it all hooked up here, let's flip it on and see. I'm gonna flip it to the 50. See if we can get some heat. Oh yeah, oh yeah. It's hot. It's real hot. You guys, this is working so well. In fact, it's working better than I was expecting. It's working so fast. It's only been on for maybe 2 minutes, 3 minutes. It is loud, by the way. That's that jet fan that's just pushing all that heat away. But oh my gosh, like all this ice is now melting. It's dripping all over the place. This is really cool. This is definitely an awesome solution. It does have a bit of a kind of a plasticky smell at first, but I think that will go away with time because we just fired it up, obviously. But I am super, super happy with it. We still have to install the handle so we can move it around, but as is, I'm happy. I'm very happy. So if you want to heat your greenhouse and you don't want to go the route of getting a rocket heater, there's a couple things you can do. So the first way is by using a thermal mass source. Thermal mass is basically just a scientific way of basically transferring heat from one object to another. It's creating equilibrium. If you take a barrel of water, a 55-gallon drum, paint it black, fill it up with water. Black is a great conductor of heat, helps absorb that heat throughout the day. Sunlight will shine, warm up the water, and then as the air cools, the water will release some of that heat, some of that thermal energy, right? It'll release some of that into the surrounding area, helping to heat your greenhouse. These pots here, they're not only black, but they have soil and water in them. That can help to absorb heat and release it through the night. That is a real big reason why this greenhouse stays as warm as it does, because we have about, I think, 300 of these pots in the greenhouse filled up with about 5 gallons of soil. There's a lot of soil, a lot of energy being stored in those. Also, your home can be an amazing thermal mass source because the home can act as a microclimate. You know, if you put your greenhouse on the right side of the house, the sun will warm up, say it's brick, the sun will warm up that brick, and that brick will radiate out into your greenhouse throughout the evening and when it gets cooler. And the other cool thing is, just got up to temperature, the rocket heater's turning off. So in real time, it's turning off. We don't have to do anything. You obviously got up to temperature. The final way that you can help to heat your greenhouse is by choosing the right floor. Believe it or not, the floor of your greenhouse is a huge thermal mass source because there's soil underneath. And what you can do is you can do a couple different things. One is you can actually sink the floor. Sunken greenhouses use geothermal mass. Essentially, if you can get down below the frost line means that below, here in Michigan, it's about 2.5, 3 feet. If you can dig your greenhouse down and actually have steps that go into your greenhouse, that heat from below will warm the air above, which is incredible. Also, you can use the floor of your greenhouse and add something like mulch or compost that's going to have a lot of air. It's going to slowly break down. It's going to help to warm it very slightly. And also, we have something like limestone. This limestone here is a stone, and stone holds on to heat very well. And so because of that, we can have the sun warm up the stone, and then throughout the night, it releases it. So a couple different options that you can apply, I should say, to heat your greenhouse. So you don't have to necessarily use a rocket heater, but on the scope and size that we're working with, the $125 was well worth it for us. And so to protect it from all of the continuous melting and thawing and melting and thawing and all the condensation that drops, we, I know it's bad luck to open an umbrella indoors, but I think we kind of had to do it in this case. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you all learned something new. I really hope that you will heat your greenhouse in some way, shape, or form. Greenhouses can be so rewarding and fun. I absolutely love having them. It's a lot of fun to grow all year round in them. Even if you're not growing year round, even growing sooner or growing earlier so you can enjoy your garden a little bit longer into the season. They can be very rewarding. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you all learned something new. And as always, this is Luke from the MIgardener channel reminding you to grow bigger. Take care. Bye. Hey, thank you so much for watching today's video. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed, consider clicking this one. You'll probably enjoy it just as much. I want to thank you for your viewership because without it, this channel would not be as amazing as it is. Also, if you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing. It's free and we upload videos every Monday, Wednesday, or Friday. We also have vegetable seeds, fertilizer, or tools. If you need any of those, consider visiting MIgardener.com. Links will be in the description box below. We've got you covered. And as always, we'll see you all in the garden. Take care.